As a new parent and you don't know special needs or not, getting a little bit concerned, but you've had NICU time. I'm going to tell you right now, if you've had probably any time in the NICU, but 2 days more in the NICU, we need to rock and roll. We need to have a plan. Now I have a free NICU to home course, and even if your child's 15, you should be doing the course to just see, is there stuff that I've missed? What happens in the NICU? Now, again, I've done webinars, I've done all that. It's in the details are in the NICU to home. But what happens in the NICU? First of all, you've got 24/7. You've got 24/7s uninterrupted. I don't know if you've ever stayed in the hospital, but I can't imagine with your baby. You've got 24/7. Bells, whistles, even if it's not your child, somebody else's, they're coming, so forth. 2, I teach this in the Mastering the Touch program. We actually took a whole bunch of balls and I put different types of holes, punctures in them, retaped them out, showing the integrity of just bouncing a ball and how the balls start projecting off and changing the direction of course. We're not meant to interrupt the epidermis with a bunch of needles. And so again, the NICU's job and your job and the hospital's job is to keep your child alive. I'm not trying to take that away from anyway. Please, 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 none of my videos say don't do medical help. Medical help is number one. However, you've just had a baby. In some cases, your baby now has been flown off to another hospital. You're in one hospital. Your child's in another hospital. You know what I mean? Like, you're still coming off your hormones. You're recovering possibly from surgery, trauma. Maybe you can't even walk. I have clients here. Husband got the phone call. Which one am I saving? Some of these are pretty hardcore traumas, and some of them, like I have a relative, and he had the cord wrapped around the neck, and coming out, because they didn't address it properly, he actually busted the cord. And so they're just laughing around like, tough little sucker. Now, he didn't go into the NICU. She said it looked like a war zone with all the blood everywhere. She almost needed a transfusion. But I'm telling you right now, they're like, I don't know why his legs are so stiff when I'm changing him. Trauma is trauma, but trauma, adding to it medical intervention, you've got to watch it. Blown IVs to the neck. Oh, why do you have torticollis later? PICC lines, central lines, depending on what they're called. There's lots of things that go on. Spinal taps. My son had to have 4 spinal taps. I wasn't allowed to be there, so there's no mommy. Phototherapy, no mommy, no daddy. Sorry, I don't mean to pick on you, but I'm the mommy, so I just go with me. And then it's like, can you at least give him Tylenol, something, for the pain? Oh, we didn't get a good tap, so it'll mask the symptoms, so we've just got to leave him. My baby's like 14 days old or something. So things go on that are medically necessary, but also can affect your child's development. They're meant to oppose gravity. And when they have an NG tube and an intubation and all of this going on, that is a lot for a newborn. A successful birth is a baby that comes home alive. However, that's where I get the conversations. I'm not sure if my child has CP or not. I'm not sure if I should be concerned. I'm telling you right now, if you look at just the facts of it, you act like you should be concerned. Okay, again, this isn't whether you do movement less or not. Act like you should be concerned, especially too for those that think that age adjusted is this thing. It is not. I will age adjust for prematurity of the organs, like say lungs from a micropreemie or such, or kidneys due to genetics or when the child is born. Not for development. When they're born, they're born. You get this real false sense of security. Add into age adjustment, some NICU time. It's a cocktail and it's happening, and you need to know ahead of time because you need a plan. Now, if you decide not to do anything and wait and see like they are, but they're waiting to see if your child is going to pass, if they're going to fail. They're not waiting to see for sparrows and rainbows, right? They know the history and they're like, oh, we're waiting and seeing, but they're not like, oh, everything's going to be. I have kids that are quadriplegics, and at 5.5 months we're told that they're okay. Hi, Chimmy, how are you? Sorry, guys. Chimmy is from Bhutan. I've been to Bhutan twice. Chimmy is probably one of my dearest friends, even though I don't get to see her, talk to her that much. But whenever we're together, we're like this. And Prashanti, too. And I talk to Prashanti's mom almost every day. She sends me a picture, I send her one back. She's the only person I let do that to me. But I need to come back. How was Nuong? Okay, sorry. Now I'm going to go back to soapboxing. But I'm very fortunate for what I do. I have friends, families, dear acquaintances, however you want to put it, all over the world. I can go anywhere I want. I can go see to Belgium with Caroline. I can go to Bhutan. I've been to Bhutan twice. I've been to Belgium once. I haven't met Caroline though. And I could go anywhere, and it's just wonderful. I am going to start traveling again, but I'm figuring that out. Good. I'm glad Nuong is good. And anyway, sorry, distraction. But please, guys, if you've had NICU time, you need to take it seriously. If that NICU time is involved with trauma, because you can have no trauma. If you're having a genetic baby, let's say low tone, hypo, can't get first breath and all that, and we still don't know what's going on, you're going to get put to the NICU. You can have a full-term delivery and get put to the NICU without any kind of trauma, but it's the combination thereof. You can do the newborn movement assessment in the hospital, but they are not going to be looking at your child for development, short or long term. They're there to keep your child alive and medically viable, and that they can go home alive. If they go home with the trach, it's still a successful birth. If they go home with a G-tube, it's still a successful birth. And you're happy to get your child home eventually. But at the same time, too, please, please, please take this seriously. There needs to be interaction. Now, next week is on the Parent Workshop series. Again, every new workshop on the series is free for that day or a couple of days. It comes with again, the PDF for the series is $5, but it's free. Now, if you want to do the Parent Workshop, because it's still live going on throughout the year, it's 21 things. It's $25 for the year. But now we just had the CBI workshop, and now we're going into the CP workshop. Again, I'm not here to say just because you've been in the NICU you have CP, but let me tell you, I can tell if they're organizing to it. But whether you want to hear it or not, or your whole professional team is on a wait and see, act like it is. Get involved. Start working on developmental milestones. Start working on optimal development. Start working on progressive movements. A baby that is lying there and is fighting for its right to be socially interactive with you is not a combination that you want at a 1 to 2 month level. There's so much that goes on in your child's development in the first 3 months of life that nobody looks at. And it's the foundation for everything that they do. So take advantage of your knowledge. Take advantage that there's things that you can do for your child. You can still work with your medical team. I'm not saying don't. This is movement. They're medical. It's a different aspect. I know you think because they've been around a lot of babies, but honestly, your OBGYN doesn't see long-term, short or long-term, unless you have a sibling, you know what I mean, and they see. But if you ask any OBGYN right now how many special needs children that they produced, they'll look at you like you've got 3 heads. That's just not their conversation. Nobody's ever studied birthing techniques that I can find of like variations on cesarean sections, but I can tell you, the difference in cesarean sections, just even going for full-term labor to a scheduled C. You grabbing that baby feet first, arm first, how you grabbing the baby out. People think all C-sections are created equal. They're not. And then your recovery. So please, we're here for optimal development. We're here for movement, but you're here to have a plan. And that's what's going on. So thank you, and I'll see you in a little bit.